Okay, today on Monkey and Mazikeen, we are going to talk about the 5 myths of a Belgian Malinois. Don't pay attention to these; they're just hiding my really bad eye infections that I got going on. So I'm a little embarrassed. So just bear with me. Today, I just wanted to talk about 5 myths of Belgian Malinois. Take them as you will, but let's go ahead and start. Okay, number 5. This is the big one. Everybody that watches a lot of these videos on YouTube about Belgian Malinois and the protection canine military type dog and all that stuff. As you know, if you've done any kind of research on these dogs, they weren't initially bred for military work or police work or stuff like that. They were just herding dogs. So now that we're farther into Belgians and they're becoming more and more popular and more people want them and stuff like that, I figured it was time that we talk about some myths about these dogs. So these are my opinions. They're not anybody else's. They're my opinions. So if you agree with them, great. If you don't, great. You can always go down to the comment section and tear me apart there. I may or may not respond to you depending on the kind of language you use. So anyway, number 5 is not all Belgian Malinois are protection dogs. Not all of them are bred to be protection dogs, and not all of them will be protection dogs. So right off the bat, don't think that when you buy a Belgian Malinois that it is going to be this trained, fierce, battle ready type of dog, because they're not. If you're going to get a protection dog, my advice is to go to a really well-known, trained, professional breeder that does mostly protection work. That would be my biggest thing, is to always go and get your research done through them. They can actually, a really good breeder can actually match you up with the right pup. So if you're going to get a protection dog, make sure that you do your history on the breeder, make sure you do the history on their dogs and whatnot and all that stuff, and what kind of stuff that they do when they train the protection dog. If you're buying a protection dog and it's a boarding thing only, I don't know how I actually feel about that. To me, I prefer that I am part of the dog's training from day one. So that's up to the individual. So if you want a trained dog and you want to buy a trained dog, then that's where you do that. So that is one myth. They do not come programmed to be a protection dog. Plain and simple. They are, in most of their minds, they're just a prey active dog, which is great for cattle herding and stuff like that. So if you're going for the protection dog, go to the right person. That's number 5 right there. Number 5.
Come on, monkey. Come on. Come on. Good job.
Go. All right, number 4. Not all of these dogs of Belgian Malinois breeding are elite, champion, frisbee, catching, ball, jumping, pool, length jumping, ladder climbing, that type of dog. They are not the elite athletes that people think that they are. Just because you've seen a few of the videos on YouTube showing how supermanish they are not all that way. They have to be trained to be that way. Just like any kind of sports athlete or anything like that, it is continual training, it is continual working out, it is the ultimate work that you could possibly do with your dog other than protection work. And again, if you are going for that athletic dog, you have to go to those I wouldn't say professional. Yeah, professional breeders that do that with their dogs, because then it's more into the bloodline of what that dog is capable of doing later on. But there is no guarantee that just because you get a puppy from a champion bloodline that you're going to get the exact same thing out of your pup. Just remember, everything that you do with your Belgian Malinois, and I'll even put in German Shepherd, Pit Bull, Doberman Pinscher, Rottweiler, Shelties, the whole 9 yards. If you are not working with them constantly to make them better at what you want them to do, they will not succeed. So therefore, do not believe that this dog is going to come in as a professional athlete right out the gate, because it won't. So let's move on to number 3 myth. Not every Belgian Malinois is full of energy and endless amounts of energy. That is not always the case. Again, this is a breeder thing, and I'm going to keep repeating this throughout the entire video. It is all about the breeder and the parents of the pup that you're getting. If you get pups from a lazy generation of Belgians, you are going to have a lazy pup. If you have high energy drive parents, you're going to have high energy drive puppies. So do not believe that every one of these Belgian Malinois are an endless ball of energy. I could show you right now how much energy is going on in this house this very moment. Number 1. Example number 2. So that is the ball of energies that are running through this house right now. They're just chilling out while we do this video. So they're not always on the go. Not every one of them is full of spit and vinegar. So anyway, don't expect that your dog is going to be always energized and all that stuff. A lot of times, you know, it's kind of a failure on the owners. If you're a lazy owner, you're probably more likely going to have a lazy dog. If you're a high energy person, you're probably going to have a high energy dog. If you're one of those people that are just in the middle, they have Belgians for that too. So don't be, you know, don't let that sway you from maybe possibly owning a Belgian Malinois, you know. So it's kind of a myth that they're all energetic, excited dogs, because not all of them are. So we'll drop down to number 2. Okay, so number 2. Not all Belgian Malinois are bad family dogs. Some of them are some of the best family dogs you could possibly get. Again, repeat myself again, it all comes down to the breeder. If the breeder has bred their dogs to be a family dog, more than likely you're going to wind up with a good family dog. If they're bred for protection, I don't know how that would go so well with kids. If they're an athletic dog, it's kind of iffy. So it really all depends on if the pup is raised around children. Monkey and Mazikeen, they were not raised around children of any kind. So therefore, I had to be kind of like the child to them and always tugging on them and pulling on them and stuff, because we do have nieces and nephews and stuff like that, and friends with kids. So therefore, I, you know, do the childish things to my dogs to prepare them for when we do have those kind of guests. I do not ever let the dogs out of my sight when they're playing with kids or anything like that. It's not that I don't trust them, it's that I don't really trust the child, because the child doesn't know any better than what they're doing. So therefore, it is my responsibility as the dog owner to make sure that my dogs are being well behaved no matter what that child does to them. I don't want to take that chance of a child getting injured, you know, because of my lack of responsibility of being a dog owner. And anybody out there that says, well, no, those people should be watching their kids, no, that is a lie. That is a myth. That is BS. My opinion is they are my dogs, and who knows what can happen. So therefore, I have to be responsible for my dogs, and you have to be responsible for your dogs. Don't leave it to the parents to keep control of their child around your dog, because I'm sorry, that's just not the way it works. And if you don't believe me, wait until the lawsuit, because I guarantee you're going to lose. So make sure that if you're going to get a Belgian Malinois and you already have a family and stuff, go to a breeder that can set you up with the right pup. They know their puppies. If they're a really good breeder, they will know what pup to send home with you to have a good family dog, a good, well-balanced dog. And you also have to work on that yourself. You also have to train your kids to work with your dog and the dog with the kids. So that is myth number 2, that Belgian Malinois do not make good family pets. That is BS. So the only thing that I won't say is BS is if you get an older Belgian from like a rescue or a pound or something like that, you don't know what their background is. I would be really, really kind of pushed off to the side about that, because you don't know what that background is on that dog, and it might be a non-child liking dog. So I would really watch that one. But if you're going with a brand new puppy, I would say your chances of having a good balanced dog with children would be probably almost 95% pure. So, you know, that's that. But the pound dog, I wouldn't take my chances. So that is number 2. Belgian Malinois can make a good family dog. Okay, so number 1 is the biggest myth of them all, and it drives me up the wall. I won't say, these people that believe that it's not a pure Belgian Malinois because you don't have the AKC papers or whatever, you know. That is such BS. You do not need AKC registered dogs to be a purebred Belgian Malinois. Monkey's dad is not papered, but his parents are papered. The guy just didn't want to pay for the paperwork, so therefore I didn't want to have to go and retract to get the paperwork. It's not worth it. Again, Mazikeen, her mom is not papered, but her dad is, and so, well, her parents are, but you know, or no, now I got myself backwards. Mazikeen's parents, her dad is registered, her mom is not, but both of their parents are. So therefore, you know, if I wanted to get the paperwork for them, I could, but I just don't need it. I don't plan on becoming a professional breeder. I don't plan on becoming a backyard puppy mill. I'm always open and trying to watch to make sure I don't have no oops letters, because they're getting to that point to where, well, Mazikeen just turned a year. So therefore now I really have to watch before I can get Monkey fixed. So Monkey's almost at his 2-year age, and that's when I want to get him fixed. And that's my choice, my opinion. It's not everybody's. So, and then again, it might not even happen that way. I might just have Mazikeen fixed and keep Monkey the way he is. I'm not sure. So that's my own personal thing. You don't need to worry about it. So anyway, for papers, you don't need the papers. That is just BS. If you're going to be a backyard dog seller and you need the paperwork for them, you disgust me. That's all I have to say. If you're trying to make money off a dog or any animal in that matter, you just disgust me. It's just wrong. Most professional breeders are not rich off their dogs whatsoever. And so therefore, if there is somebody that is selling dogs on Craigslist or stuff like that, you're just out there to make a profit off of something that was good, and you're turning it into something bad. So I'll stop my lecture there, because it's none of my business what other people do. But just watch who you get your pups from and all that other stuff. And those are my 5 myths. Not all of them are good protection dogs. Not all of them are athletes. Not all of them are a ball of energy. Not all of them are bad with children. And not all of them need any paperwork. So, like all of my videos, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to pass them around. And I'm just doing this to be as honest as I can and to be as open as I can about a really great breed of dog. I will not say that a Belgian is better than a German Shepherd or a Pit Bull or anything like that. I am just telling you what I've learned over the years of my background searches and me getting my own dogs and working with them and stuff like that. So I just don't want to see another breed of dog go down the toilet because of mishandling of them. It's super sad that, you know, that there are people out there that will do that, and I'm just hoping that with some of the stuff I give you guys, it will help you pick the right pup for your family, because they're great dogs no matter what. And yes, they are destructive when bored, but you know, so are other breeds of dogs. So just, you know, really do your background checks, really pay attention to the breeders, really pay attention to what you want and what you really need for your lifestyle when you get a Belgian Malinois. They're amazing. You can teach them anything. You can screw them up. I mean, sometimes it's just a life learning lesson with these dogs. So anyway, have a great day like usual, and remember to always take care of your pups.